Submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light through your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved.
When did the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessing upon him, go back to his mother Amina?
So when Halima Sa'diyya gave back Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, after many attempts of trying to keep him with her family, she gave him back to Amina at the age of 3. Later on in his life, Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, at the age of 55, at the conquest of Mecca, he hadn't seen Halima probably since he was about 6 or 7 years old. And he saw an old woman coming up to him on a staff. And he said, "Who is this woman?" She was looking at him with an endearing smile. And they told him, "This is Halima Sa'diyya." As soon as he heard her name, he said, "My nursing mother." And he got down from the horse. He took off his cloak, laid it on the ground, and he said, "Let me have some time with my nursing mother to talk to her." This was the honor that the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, would give to people who deserved honor. If we compare this to ourselves today, whenever we're talking to our parents and something that we don't like is said, we immediately dishonor them. He honored even his nursing mother, whom he hadn't seen or heard about since he was about 6 or 7 years old. But to get back to the story, his mother at the age of 6 passed away. Again, for him to feel what it's like to lose a mother, as he was aware of who she was and knew who she was. Even though he had lost his father before birth, he knew he was an orphan, but it wasn't the same as losing his mother after she had reared him for 3 years. Then now he goes to live with his grandfather Abdul Muttalib, who's now 90 years old. Certainly he had heard the story of the year of the elephant from his mother, but now he got to hear it from his grandfather directly, his meeting with Abraha and all the glory of how God saved the blessed house. This is all resting in the heart of young Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, and he knows that something special has to be done in this world. However, all that's going on in his life right now is his adjustment to new places to live. And sure enough, 2 years later, God determines that Abdul Muttalib himself would pass away. He was old in age, and it was a blessing from God for Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, that he was even alive until the age of 90. And so at the age of 8 or 9, Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, now is living with his eldest uncle, Abi Talib. And because he sees that Abi Talib has 10 children and is poor himself, he is the one responsible for feeding those who come to visit the blessed house out of his own wealth. So he himself is poor. And because he sees that, he says, "I want to help. I want to help by doing some work that will actually bring in money for the house." So he goes and he becomes a sheep herder at the age of 9. And he works as a sheep herder from the age of 9 until the age of 15. But on one of the trips that Abi Talib went to Syria, on one of those Quraysh business trips, the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, went with him. And a monk by the name of Bahira saw them from afar, saw the caravan from afar, and saw that there was a cloud covering over the caravan, protecting it from the sun. Whenever the caravan would go, the cloud would go with it. And whenever the caravan would stop, the cloud would stop. Bahira knew something was different. And Bahira also knew that this was the time of the coming of a prophet, told in the old scripture. So he went and asked them to come meet him on a feast. And he then asked for them to bring everyone with them. When he didn't see the signs that he was looking for, he asked if someone was left behind, and they told him certainly Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, was actually left to protect their items. He asked for him to be brought as well. And then after talking to him, he was certain that Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, was the prophet that was talked about in the scripture. He didn't tell this to anyone. But what he told his uncle Abi Talib is, "You must protect this young boy with everything you have." Abi Talib now was certain that the love Abdul Muttalib had for Muhammad was well even known to people who didn't know Muhammad after meeting him. And so that's what led to Muhammad then, at the age of 15, changing from being a sheep herder to a tradesman like his uncle. And as a tradesman, he was known across Arabia as one of the most honest, one of the best tradesmen. He was still poor because his trade was just sufficient for him to support helping his uncle and helping his family to support the pilgrims coming to the blessed house. But it was not until the age of 25 that his life would change, and the world would change with that change of his life, when he met the woman named Khadija bint Khuwaylid. Next time we'll talk about their meeting and what happened after that. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
With submission, faith, and patience, you conveyed the noble message, brought us light your guidance. Peace be upon you, my beloved. Ya